Welcome to this episode of Distance Learning with the Bakersfield Symphony. Our distance learning series is made possible by generous sponsors and donors from our community. This year's premier sponsors are Kern Family Healthcare and Kern County Superintendent of Schools. Today we'll be taking a look at the first movement of a piece of music by Gustav Holst called The Planets. The Planets is a suite, which means it's made up of a series of shorter movements named after, you guessed it, the planets. Now, not all of the planets are included. Earth doesn't get a movement, and neither does Pluto, which hadn't actually been discovered at the time Holst wrote the piece. The first movement is titled Mars, Bringer of War. Before we get too deep into Mars, there's a little bit of background that we should explore first. As you might be aware, the planets in our solar system are named after Roman gods. Mercury, Venus, Mars, and the rest are all the names of Roman gods. Many people, myself included, assume that Holst's Planets is a musical representation of the character of these gods, and being that the first movement is called Mars, Bringer of War, and Mars was, in fact, the Roman god of war, this seems a pretty safe assumption. As it turns out, that's not actually what Holst was going for. Gustav Holst was really into astrology. Astrologers believe that the movement of planetary bodies, the sun, moon, stars, and planets, have a direct effect on people's personalities, emotions, and decision-making. These effects vary depending on when the person was born. Holst studied astrology and was fascinated by it, and even knew enough to write his own horoscopes. Each of the planets has very specific effects on people, bringing out certain character traits or leading them to make certain decisions. It is these characteristics that Holst's music focuses on. To be clear, while many people believe in the accuracy of astrology, it is not based in science. The scientific study of the stars and planetary bodies is called astronomy. Astronomy will tell you that Mars is the fourth planet from the Sun. It's a red color because of the high content of iron in the dust and rocks on its surface, and it has the tallest mountain in the solar system. Astrology, on the other hand, will tell you that Mars can give you energy and confidence, but also is aggressive and can be impulsive. While Holst calls the first movement of the planets Mars, Bringer of War, it's in recognition of what that aggression and impulsivity can lead to: confrontation, violence, and even war. In this specific case, the astrology of the planet and the Roman god that is its namesake are aligned. Now that we've covered some background, let's get into the actual music. Holst focuses on the aggressive nature of Mars, and there's a lot of musical tension during the entire movement. Holst uses a musical feature called an ostinato through the majority of this movement. An ostinato is a melodic or rhythmic pattern that's repeated over and over and over throughout a piece of music. Most people don't know or use the term ostinato, but they happen in music all the time. Here's what Holst's ostinato looks like. You might notice there are 5 beats in each measure instead of the usual 4, and on the first beat we have a triplet. This means that all 3 of these notes happen on the first beat. The ostinato sounds like this: triplet 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's try it together. You can say the numbers, clap or pat the rhythm, or both. Ready and go. Triplet 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's try a little bit faster a few times in a row. Ready and go. Triplet 2, 3, 4, and 5. Triplet 2, 3, 4, and 5. Triplet 2, 3, 4, and 5. Here's how it sounds in the music at the very beginning of the movement. Now we're going to listen to the first half of the movement. The whole movement is about 7 minutes long, and if you'd like to listen to the whole thing, I've provided a YouTube link to a recording of the whole movement in the description below the video. We're going to listen to the first 3 minutes. Listen for the ostinato and feel free to tap along with the rhythm when it's happening. Did you get a sense for the aggression that Holst is showing through the music? Everything seems very strong and forceful. The ostinato certainly helps with this feeling, but Holst also uses a lot of dissonance to portray these feelings. Dissonance is the opposite of consonance. Consonance is when different notes are played at the same time and it sounds good together, like this. Or this. Dissonance is when different notes are played at the same time and it sounds, well, not as good, like this. Or this. Holst uses dissonance to help give the music that aggressive, forceful feeling. I hope you've enjoyed listening to and learning about Mars. I've got a few follow-up questions and activities for you. Holst's interpretation for the planets was the astrological character of each planet. If the music is depicting a person acting under the influence of Mars, then based on how the music sounds, what would that person be feeling? What might they be doing? Write a paragraph or draw a picture depicting that person. Listen to the music again, either by backing up the video or by listening to a full recording. And try playing the ostinato along with the music on different instruments. If you have a real instrument you can play, try it out. If not, you could try clapping, patting, stomping, snapping, playing on a pot or pan with wooden spoons, or something else, as long as your teacher or parent approves. See what sound you think fits best with the music. Why do you think that sound works the best? I gave a few facts about the planet Mars in the beginning of the video. Do some research and find 3 facts about the planet Mars that were not presented in the video. The Roman god Mars was the god of war. Do some research about what the Roman god Mars was like, and write a short description. Does his character fit the character of Holst's music? Describe the similarities or differences between the character of the music and the character of the Roman god. Thanks for watching, and be sure to check back for our next episode.